Now today we're here in Silker Park. Now behind us you can see the beautiful Austin skyline. Today we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly, everything in between.
Some of those things in between real quick that could go either way, depending on you, what you like, your own preference. Maybe you don't even care. I don't know. The first off, we're in Texas. Weed, marijuana, cannabis, whatever you want to call it, it is illegal in Texas. If you walk around here, you might catch a little bit of it in the breeze, you know. If you go down 6th Street, you're going to see it.
I come here to Silker Park for ACL, Blues on the Greens, festivals. You'll definitely smell it then.
I feel like, while I don't think you see it everywhere all the time,
no.
Maybe a little bit, a hair more prevalent now, because they did pass something a while back where you can have up to 4 ounces, and they pretty much they won't mess with you at all. You know, you can do it, be on the street. Maybe you like that, maybe you don't.
You let us know what you think, if it's important to you, or just let us know your thoughts on the comments down below.
Yeah, it's a good place to put that. And then part of the reason why that is that way is the political environment of the area. Texas, red state. Austin, very blue, right? You know,
definitely.
Blue.
Regardless of how you feel about either one of those, make sure you get down there, roll up that like button, and let's get into our first actual pro.
Now my first pro on the list is one of the things you'll probably notice as soon as you get here, and that is just how beautiful of a city it is and the surrounding area, of course. I mean, you can see you got the architecture, you got the new buildings, and they don't just throw up any plain things. You got some pretty unique looking spots back there downtown. And then you got the big open parks like this. You got the river, the lakes, all that. And then you're right here bordering up on the hill country too, as you go out on the west side, that you can go out and enjoy all of that. So it's just a ton of beautiful scenery here, pretty much no matter where you go in the Austin area.
And with all that beautiful scenery, you have the next pro on our list, which is all the things to do here in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's probably more than we could list in multiple videos, I think, to do here in Austin. But just to
we'll
go
do our
through,
best.
Yeah, we'll try to do the best we can. But of course, you're in a big city, so you have all the big city stuff. You got 6th Street, you got nightlife, you got tons of great, restaurants. You got the bars. You got South Congress, which is just all your kind of your higher end shopping.
True.
You got that at the Domain too. So just a little bit of everything there, and then we got a little bit of a sports scene going on here. Some.
That's right. Used to be known as a college town, but now we have Major League Soccer, MLS, Austin FC.
Yep.
Now in their 3rd season.
You got that. They're doing pretty well. And then you got the Formula One.
Right.
That's pretty unique, you know. So you got that going on here in Austin. And then probably, I'm gonna say it's one of my favorite things. I think it's probably one of your favorite things. It's just to get out and enjoy the outdoors here.
Definitely one of my favorite things to do by far is just to be outdoors, whether it be on the hiking trails or out on the lake or out here on Silker Park. And no, definitely one of my favorites for sure.
And then too out here, and we'll mention too, again, since we're in Silker Park, this is where you have all the other, like the big events all year. You got the ACL, the music, you know, and a lot of other festivals that are going on out here.
Our next pro on the list is career opportunities. Now, what better way to show you all the career opportunities than by showing you our beautiful Austin skyline? And right here behind us, you can see just 3 of the examples. For example, Indeed, Facebook, Google, which is right behind us, just to name a few here in the downtown area. But on the surrounding areas, you have companies like Tesla, Apple, SpaceX, and who knows, maybe we'll even have Twitter here soon.
And Luis, you know, with all the growth that you're talking about in that tech sector, I think those people, they got to get out, they got to live, they got to eat, they got to shop, they can do all these things around here. So it's going to lead to a lot of opportunities for everybody, not just in the tech sector, but in all these other fields around it as well.
Hey, if you want to learn more about the good and the bad about Austin and actually get around see it too, you got to hit that subscribe button and click the bell. That way you'll get notified when our videos come out. We're going out shooting them like this all the time. You don't want to miss them, I promise.
Next up on the list of pros is just I wanted to say young, friendly, active. I would say it's a pretty diverse in ages here. I mean, it just kind of feels young.
Right.
You can be like 60 and feel young, I think, too. So you got all that going on here. You can see the activity around us. Everybody's out running, walking, biking. You know, even though it's February, warm day, people are out on the kayaks. So you get that vibe. Watch out, cameraman, you're gonna get hit by a bike. But that's the kind of stuff you got going on here. And you know, another thing here, I would say, would you say people are friendly here? I think they are.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, I was just out of town this past week, and it takes being out of town and then coming back in to know what you got here in Austin. So yes, definitely, for sure.
So even with, you know, here's some people kind of complaining about the transplants. I think even with the transplants, I think a lot of y'all come in here, you get here, you want to meet friends. There's a lot of y'all like that. So, you know, just in talking around, just while we've been out today, I mean, I feel like everybody's like jumps in, they'll have a conversation with you, they'll tell you about their dogs for sure, because you're gonna.
You seen all the dogs here?
Yeah, just a few. I mean, I think you pretty much have to have
a dog
when you get here to Austin.
We have a dog. Give it up.
Gotta get one.
You gotta get one.
Now the next one's a big one for me, and that is the food scene here in Austin, which is just pretty much unparalleled. Now I don't just mean Mexican. We got some character with the Mexican restaurants here too, but not just that, okay? There's pretty much everything you could want, and I bet you in a lot of cities, I don't think you got the options and things in other places that you got here in Austin. I mean, literally any type of food, anything you want, you're gonna be able to get it here, and not just the good food, like maybe what you can get here, or Nashville hot chicken, better than what I've gotten in Nashville. You can get that here too, but you can also get, you know, all the different healthier food options, your gluten-free, your organic, your farm to table, all that fresh stuff, and you can find it almost everywhere here. There's actually probably fewer places that don't have the healthier, good for you options than the ones that don't. So it kind of lends itself to that active, healthy lifestyle that this city tends to lean towards. But, you know, can you still get a big juicy steak, a chicken fried steak, a big plate of fajitas, chips and salsa, some queso? Yeah, you can do that too.
The next pro on the list is gonna be weather. Now, Austin weather, I personally love Austin weather because you have your summers, you have your winters. Now today, February, typically January and February are gonna be your coldest months here in Austin. However, today we're in the 70s, so beautiful day to be outside.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say, like, pretty much from September to April, there's a ton of time that you can be out. Really, I would say it's a year-round outdoor city. But, you know, like you said, February, or what, 2 days ago, everything out here was covered in ice, and it's 74 degrees today, and you see everybody's out in shorts and t-shirts or no shirts. So, yeah, that's kind of what you get. That weather is going to be up and down a lot, but through all that time of year, it's just generally you get a lot of good time to be outside. And look, I know if the weather's going to be a pro, it's also going to have to be a con too, specifically that summer heat.
That's right. From a local's perspective, I mean, I've lived here in Austin all my life. I mean, I know how hot it can get it out here, how humid. I say humid, I mean, some people come in from out of town, they say, oh, this isn't too bad, but then again, they're coming from coastal cities. But my friends and family who I hang around, we always complain about the humidity here, the heat. But I mean, that's just...
Yeah, I mean, and you're getting like 100-degree days.
That is true.
Oh, I mean, a lot of them here. I mean, I think I had like a record number. I don't remember how many it was this last year, but you're getting a lot of 100-degree days. So even without the humidity, yeah, it is hot. But you know, like you said, I do hear that people complain, and I think that's too coming from like the West Coast and kind of those drier states. You know, you get those desert environments. It's not a desert environment here. You do have some humidity, so for you coming from those places, it might feel like it. But is it like Houston, Louisiana, Florida? It's nothing like that. You know, I've lived in Mississippi for the last, I think, 8 years. Now I can't remember exactly how long, but y'all, it gets, you know, it might be 10 degrees hotter in Austin, but I swear it feels like it's hotter when you're out there, when you're in these more humid places. So to me, and maybe to you if you're coming from you know, some of those other places, the southeast, maybe I don't know how it is over on the east coast, you can let us know, but all those different places, it's going to depend on what you're used to, what you get like when you feel here, or what you're going to feel here in the summer.
Definitely, it's a matter of perspective, but I think bottom line, I think it's safe to say it does get pretty hot in the summer.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So I do want to know, do the pros outweigh the cons for you? And if so, you can let me know either by getting down there in comments, or if you're thinking about really making the move here, go ahead and take that a step further. You got to hit me up, call, text, email, whatever it takes. Get in touch with me so we can help get you right here to Austin.
Now next up, getting into the things you're going to have to deal with all the time, not just parts of the year, and that's going to be the traffic situation you got here, because we've had all this growth.
Yep.
All these people coming in, the infrastructure, it just has not been able to keep up with it.
Yeah, so with all that, I mean, of course, you're gonna have traffic. I mean, just look at us, behind us. I mean, you have traffic just coming out of a park. But, I mean, yes, you go down to our interstates. I-35 is gonna be our main interstate running north to south. And traffic there, you know, you have your rush hour traffic starting like around, you know, 7 in the morning. And then, of course, you know, in the afternoon, you start traffic rush hour around, you know, 4 typically. But
yeah,
I mean, that's...
yeah, so you're dealing with that, and obviously like I-35 is probably the worst, you know. You get Mopac, or you'll see a Loop 1, you know, that'll be, you know, sometimes I feel like it's not as bad, 183, but all the, you know, like if you look on the little traffic map, it's going to tell you it's going to all be red, you know, if you look at some of these times of the day.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is you can't really get away from that too much, because there's really not, you know, outside of the bus network, there's not like a rail system where you can just avoid the traffic here. Now they're working on it.
Working on it.
And we do have like the one line that runs up through like Cedar Park and up to Leander.
Yeah.
But if you live anywhere else, it's not really helping you out that much if you're not right on that line. So
I will mention we do have our toll roads, which do help, but even those can get backed up during rush hour. So that's just something we have to mention.
Something too with the toll roads, if you come down like specifically coming from up the Cedar Parkway down on the Mopac, there you can get on that toll express lane coming through there. And if you come on the off times, it might be like 45 cents or something like that. You better be careful though. While it will save you some time, sometimes I've seen they get up pretty high, like 20 bucks or more just to take that toll road down there. So it's almost like you're paying a fare to go downtown in your own car. But you know, if you need to get downtown quick, you know, it might save you 30 minutes if you get on that. So who knows? It might be worth it for you. And another little extra thing too, since you're having to drive all these places, if you don't live, you know, right here next to it downtown, you're gonna have to find somewhere to park too. And on the weekends specifically, if you're coming to these parks like you see here, I mean, look, this is all the way around the park here, and it's kind of tough to find a parking spot. And when you do, when you want to leave, you're gonna be waiting a little bit to get out.
Now, one con that's been a particularly big one for me is gonna be allergies. And I'm not talking about just in the spring or just in the fall or even the summer. It's pretty much all year round. We're shooting these videos here in February, and I'm popping Zyrtex every single day. It's a cedar this time of year, pretty much all year round. There's something here in Austin, so if you're prone to allergies, it's definitely something to be aware of. And I actually talked to a lot of people who don't have allergy issues in other areas, wherever they came from, but they still get them when they get here.
Now, the con that's going to be on probably everyone's mind is going to be the cost of living. Now, Austin in particular is going to be the most expensive city to live here in Texas.
Now, I want to say in Texas.
In Texas.
Right. Now, if you compare that to like, you know, the Bay Area of California or LA, you know, you're going to get some different stuff.
That is true.
But in Texas. Now, people say that it's the most expensive city to live in Texas, but that's not really everything. I'd say that's kind of concentrated in the housing, really. But what about everything else?
Yeah, good point. So if you think about things like utilities, I mean, just throw an example, you know, maybe a 15 square foot home, I mean, you're generally going to be paying, you know, anywhere between $150, you know, maybe scratching $200 on electric, and then maybe another $100, you know, $200 on water, sewage, and trash pickup. Those are just to give just some general examples, of course, depending on the size of your home.
Yeah.
But
and I'm going to say too, like, that's here in the most expensive city. You know, me coming in, obviously from one of the cheaper parts of the country, Mississippi, it's really not that different on a lot of those utility things, you know, here. And then kind of getting into the other things like transportation, gas. Like you are kind of car dependent here, like as we mentioned earlier.
yeah.
The gas is not that bad here. I mean, I think we're kind of close to the source.
Three. That's true. $3. I mean, as of today, here in February 2023, I mean, you're looking at $3 a gallon. And of course, that's if you have a car. But you mentioned other forms of transportation. You looked up.
Yeah, you want to ride the Cap Metro bus network. You get a monthly pass on there for $41.25, and obviously you can get day passes, week passes, whatever you want. And I'm just thinking here too. You know, we do have Tesla here making cars. There's a lot of people with Teslas here too. So maybe that makes your gas bill go down, but maybe the electric bill goes up for that, for just getting around here, getting around town. But the other stuff, kind of the basics, the groceries, the food, I don't really think it's that much different than what you're going to find in other parts of the country. Yeah.
And like I said, I was just out of town a few days ago, and you know, prices are pretty much in line with other parts of the country. So I think the house of living is going to, you know, primarily going to be towards housing. I mean,
I mean, it's pretty much going to be the housing, which, you know, with the big influx of people, those housing prices, everybody knows, it's been in the news. You know, the housing costs have gone up pretty substantially. Now they've started to kind of trend back down a little bit, but they're definitely still up here in Austin compared to what they were 10 years ago.
Definitely.
A good bit, but it's not just the housing, like the actual buying the house. What you'll find too is the other thing that we hear a lot of complaints about here in Texas is
property taxes.
But you don't have a state income tax.
Yeah.
But they're going to get you somewhere, and the place they get you here in Texas is the property taxes.
It's the price to live here in Texas, but yeah, property taxes is going to be one of those big ones I hear a lot of out-of-towners complain about. Property taxes are high here. There's going to be, particularly here in Austin, you have some suburbs that, you know, might have higher property taxes than others, but yeah, property taxes is going to be one of those cons we just have to mention.
Yeah, I think the lowest I've seen probably going all around is maybe like 1.6, 1.7, but that's like the bottom of the barrel, like the lowest you can go. Most of them are going to be over 2. You know, I think the average is going to be like 2.3 to 2.5, somewhere in there.
Right, Jared. So yeah, when you're talking about property taxes, yeah, you're right. On average, I mean, you're going to run like somewhere in the 2s. I mean, you mentioned on the low end, you're going to run about 1.6. On the high end, you know, 3.2. This is kind of what I've seen, but I mean, that is just the price of living in Texas.
Yeah, and that can be a lot on these. Kind of the price. The price of the home has gone up. The property tax has gone up too. Really, there's a lot of intricacies in that we get in both with that and with everything else. And honestly, I think if you're going to be moving here, you want to know all about the cost of living and the things that really might surprise you with those costs when you get here. So we're going to actually go into it a lot deeper. You need to get on this video right here. Check that out. We'll see you there.